The morning of August 6, 1945, began like any other day in the city of Hiroshima. For Tsutomu Yamaguchi, a 29-year-old naval engineer from Nagasaki, it was supposed to be his last. He was on a 3-month business trip for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, finalizing the design for a new oil tanker. He was tired, eager to return to his wife, Hisako, and their infant son, Katsutoshi. At 8:15 a.m. as he walked toward the shipyard, he looked up. He saw a lone American B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, soaring overhead. Then, a small object detached, connected to a parachute. In the next instant, the sky did not just brighten, it ignited. Yamaguchi was less than 2 miles from ground zero, the epicenter of the blast. He later described the light as the lightning of a huge magnesium flare. He had just enough time to dive into a ditch before the shockwave hit, a colossal invisible fist that ruptured his eardrums, tore the clothes from his body, and left his face and forearms seared with agonizing blackened burns. The weapon, codenamed Little Boy, a uranium-based gun-type device, had just unleashed the power of the sun on a human city. When he regained consciousness, the world was gone. A monstrous mushroom cloud, a pillar of fire and smoke, climbed into the heavens. The city was a landscape of flattened rubble, and through the haze, shapes moved, the walking wounded, their skin hanging in strips, their eyes vacant with shock. Burned, deafened, and barely able to see, Yamaguchi found his 2 surviving colleagues and spent a night in a makeshift air raid shelter. The next morning, he began the nightmare journey home. To reach the train station, he was forced to cross a river. The water was not empty. He had to swim through a layer of floating dead bodies, a horror that would haunt his memory for the rest of his life. Clinging to consciousness, he boarded a train bound for Nagasaki, carrying the physical scars of the world's first atomic attack and a mind fractured by its scale. Yamaguchi arrived in Nagasaki on August 8. His family was safe, but his appearance was terrifying. His mother, seeing his feverish, bandaged form, accused him of being a ghost. Despite his injuries, the engineer, driven by a fierce sense of duty, reported to the Mitsubishi office the next morning. At 11 a.m., he was in a meeting with his director, recounting the unbelievable events of Hiroshima. He described the blinding light, the shockwave, the total annihilation of a city. His superior listened, skeptical, perhaps even dismissive. How could a single bomb destroy an entire city? At 11:02 a.m., the question was answered. The room erupted in an iridescent white flash, followed by a thunderous roar. The second atomic bomb, Fat Man, a plutonium-based implosion device, had just detonated over Nagasaki. Yamaguchi was thrown to the floor. His first terrifying thought was that the mushroom cloud had followed him from Hiroshima. For the second time in 3 days, he was within 2 miles of a nuclear explosion. Miraculously, the city's hilly terrain and the reinforced concrete of the office building muffled the blast just enough. He was hit by another surge of radiation, but he was alive. He rushed home, fearing the worst. His wife, Hisako, and son were safe. In a cruel twist of fate, they had been out looking for burn ointment for his Hiroshima injuries and had taken shelter in a tunnel just moments before the blast. His survival in Hiroshima had, indirectly, saved his family in Nagasaki. The sickness that followed was relentless. 4 weeks, Yamaguchi lay close to death, suffering from high fever, vomiting, and hair loss, the agonizing symptoms of acute radiation poisoning. He survived, but the pain and the memories never left. For decades, he remained silent, the burden of his survival too heavy to share. It was not until the twilight of his life that silence became unbearable. He began to speak, not of politics or blame, but of the simple, terrifying truth of what he had witnessed. He became a vocal advocate for nuclear disarmament, his testimony a unique and irrefutable warning to the world. In 2009, the Japanese government formally recognized him as a Niju Hibakusha, a double survivor, a distinction that set him apart as a living monument to the ultimate human cost of war. He accepted the title not as an honor, but as an obligation. Tsutomu Yamaguchi died in 2010 at the age of 93. He had outlived 2 cities and an age of unimaginable violence. His story is not one of a miracle, but of endurance. He walked through the ruins of history twice and emerged carrying nothing but the memory, a steady and unyielding witness to the fragile distance between survival and disappearance. He is the man who survived the end of the world twice, and his voice remains a permanent echo in the nuclear age.